Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua. So this is going to be my most dented fragrances for the last couple of weeks, and I narrowed it down to the last 3 to 5 weeks, of acquiring some of these fragrances. I didn't want to add anything, before then, because I've already done my most dented for a certain period, and these are the current most dented fragrances in my, collection. These fragrances are fairly new, but for some reason I have utilized them, the most, than other fragrances in my collection, and I'll give you the reason why I have like such huge dents in some of these fragrances, as well as what I love about these fragrances, the ups and downs, and why they have such significant dents in them. And the first one I have here obviously is going to be one that I have raved about, and I love this scent. I utilize this particular fragrance just because I love the scent profile. And it's quite simple. It gives me a very addictive ice cream raspberry vanilla scent, and this is none other but Spanish Vanilla by the House of Arabian, and this is the dent I have in it so far after about 2.5 weeks, or so of having this, and this to me is a good dent. And I didn't make the dent out of, I made a dent because I love this fragrance. I think this is as a result of 3 words, because I do overspray and reapply for the most part, so this is as a result of like 3 wears, including occasional, putting on the hand and sniffing and enjoying the scent. It is a very beautiful one. I know it is quite hard to find. If you're in Ghana, you can find it from Tel's Perfume GA. She has them readily available, as well as the Cupcake, but this I got on Amazon. I'll try and see if it has restocked, but just scout around where you normally buy your Middle Eastern fragrances, and I'm sure you will find it somewhere. But this is Spanish Vanilla, and this is the dent I have made in it so far, and I love this. The next one is going to be the sister to Spanish Vanilla, and this is Cupcake. It has less of a dent in it, but it's also a dent, and this I made a dent out of curiosity and wanting to know how this one smells, because if you have watched the videos, the reviews for these two, they are like polar opposites, 360. This, I didn't give it a positive review because to me, I wouldn't readily recommend this as much as I would recommend Spanish Vanilla, which is like 100% love for me. For some reason, as soon as I sprayed this, it just goes straight into my head, like the back of my head, that kind of detergent sort of feel, it's sharp, and as soon as I spray it and I smell it, just goes straight to the back of my head. It doesn't give me headache per se, but there's something sort of, a heavy, unbalanced chemical, ambroxan, heavy, musky sort of feel to it with the laundry detergent vibes, and I've been trying to sort of, let this one macerate for a while. I think this is about 2 weeks now, in my collection. I had Spanish Vanilla like a week prior to receiving this, and I've been just trying to figure out what this one actually is. I'm not too sure what I feel about it, but I know for sure I'm not going to recommend this. I don't really like this as much, it gives me a very detergent chemical feel, and the dent in this as a result of me wanting to really get myself acquainted with the scent profile to be able to give you a thorough detail, and occasionally revisiting and checking if it has, improved in any way. I would say it has improved slightly, but it is still not a fragrance I'm going to say jump at it, and buy. It's giving me nothing vanilla. It is not giving me anything Cupcake. It is not giving me anything gourmand, and I remember when I did a video, someone said it's giving her Hufflepuff by House of Siage. No, it doesn't give me that at all. One of the sort of dupes I have that sort of gives me Hufflepuff, vibes is a Bath and Body Works orange vanilla, it's a fragrance mist, but it gives me, that vibes. But this one doesn't give me that at all, at least to my nose, it doesn't give me that. So the reason why it has the dent is the fact that I just wanted to get myself acquainted, learn about it, and give you a thorough, review of the fragrance. So yeah, that is the dent. I'm not sure I'm going to utilize this. It doesn't even come across as one that is like good for layering, you know. So yeah, that is it. So the next one I have here is going to be from Arabian, and this is Zir Luck, and I think this I've had for about 5 or so weeks at this point, you know. And this dent is as a result of like 3 wears, you know, 3 wears, including occasional sniffing and getting more acquainted with the scent. You know, it is not going to be a fragrance that is like very mass appealing for everybody. It gives me a very quintessential Arabic style vanilla and booze, you know. It's like an Arabic style fragrance, you know. If you love like a typical Arabic style Middle Eastern Dubai, you know, a bit funky you know, vibe, like a heavy Arabic style, this one gives me more apples and not a creamy vanilla, but it has a sort of vanilla, not the creamy sweet gourmand vanilla, but there is something about it that gives me festive mode vibes. It puts me in a very Christmassy feel. This one gives me a very heavy Christmassy feel with the apple. It doesn't feel like baked apple. This one is like a more straight up, you know, green fermented apple. You know, there's something fermented about the apple in this one, giving it like a different direction altogether. And this is a good one, but you need to love heavy Middle Eastern Arabian style perfumes before you can appreciate Zir Luck from the house of Arabian. And this I love. It gives me festive vibes. It's going to be good for like Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know, sort of, you know, Eid sort of, you know, festivities. And I love this. The next one with a heavy dent is going to be an obvious one. You know, people are like, did I drink this? You know, and I'm going to put these two together. Anam from Latafa and then Athena, you know. I think this one has the lesser dent. This I'm utilizing the more because I don't find it as strong, you know. When I spray it, you know, although I enjoy it, I don't enjoy it as much as I do with this one, you know. And of course I got this one first, so I just got to it and started utilizing this one. On the other hand, I do enjoy, you know, but not as much as I do with the Anam. Nonetheless, very beautiful. These are both dented, but I think Anam is like more dented, yeah, more dented than Athena. Nonetheless, very beautiful. I love them both, you know. I just want to sort of reserve this for a while, you know, and then probably I'm just going to go through this one within a few, you know, months, whilst I reserve this one for a more, you know, dressed up going out, you know, sort of occasion. So these are heavily dented Athena, you know, but not as much as I have with Anam. And this is, it has the dent because I love it, you know. The dent is here because I love the scent. It is very addictive. I get compliments on it. It is a very heavy vanilla scent with that, you know, lavender and, you know, a slightly nutty vibe of the OG Berry Goddess, whilst this one is more of the floral. And I'm lately getting that, you know, leather, you know, accord that this one has. I'm really getting it slightly, you know. It is there. If you squint, you get it, you know. And I'm sort of enjoying it, but not as much as I do with Anam. But I would still highly recommend this, you know. For the price you are paying for this, I would still highly recommend Athena from the house of Alhambra. So these are the dates I have put in, these two so far. The next one I have here, I just wanted to utilize it as an experiment, you know. So this one is like done. This is like done. Diwani Barut from FA Paris. I got it, you know. It promised to give me what's the name? Zadig and Voltaire. This is hair. I have not tried that, you know, but I sort of, you know, like the concept of that, you know, with the woody florals. But this didn't do much for me, honestly. It is not a fragrance I would just go like, okay, just go run out and buy. I sort of, you know, as soon as I sprayed it, it didn't wow me. It's just like okay to me, you know, some lily of the valley, some sort of, you know, woody base, some mask, you know, powderiness to it. It is clean, it is fresh. It didn't do much to me, and I wanted to use it as an experiment, you know, like if I were to be a one bottle at a time sort of person, how long a fragrance would last me. And I think I utilized this within 9 days, you know, within 9 days of wearing this. So this is like virtually empty, and as soon as I'm done with the life after maturation of this, I'm good. It's like empty. It's an empty bottle, and then I will just discard it, you know. So that is why the reason why this bottle is virtually empty. So this is Diwani Barut from the house of F.A. Paris. I would love to get the black bottle, which is like princess, you know. Yeah, probably, because I have a 10 ml of princess, you know, that I'm sort of getting into, you know. So yeah, why not? The next one I really want to include, because usually when I'm doing my most dented fragrances, I love to show bottles that are like, you know, transparent, that people can see the dent, you know, because it doesn't make sense when people go like, this is dented but you can't see the dent. It feels like you are sort of lying about it, you know. So I don't feel too comfortable sharing a lot of my those bottles give me, because they're not transparent, it doesn't give you the real essence of how a fragrance is utilized. And in the case of Liquid Brand, I'm just going to show it because I have indeed utilized this. If this were transparent, I'm sure it would have been like 3/4, you know, down, you know, because this is a love for me, you know. That's spicy cinnamon, floral, vanilla. It is like a bourbon vanilla sort of boozy vibes to it, you know. Very unisex vanilla to me, almost on the borderline masculine, but very unisex to my nose. This is a very beautiful, sweet, elegant, polished vanilla and cinnamon and floral scent. A very beautiful one. And unfortunately, I cannot show you the dent, but trust me when I say I have utilized this. I wore it to, the first time I ever wore this was to church, and then I wore it, you know, for my normal errands. I've been wearing it like occasionally, but I think heavily I use this like three outings, you know, and 3 outings to me is like a lot of dent, you know, in a particular bottle. And this, if I could look at it, I would say it is quite dented. Even when you shake it, you can see that it's moving, you know. There's a lot of space in the bottle, you know. So yeah, this is heavily dented. And the last one I have here is a fragrance I have hardly spoken about. I'm going to discuss this in subsequent videos, and this is from the Artisan Perfumery line from Fragrance World, and this is Brown Sugar. I wouldn't say it is the biggest dent, you know, but it's been one of I have utilized in the last 4 weeks, you know. And this is good. This is different. This gives me a very artsy feel. It doesn't give me a mass appealing everyday fragrance. It's more of an artsy, you know, someone who is into art and, you know, different and you know, that sort of vibes. It gives me a very artsy person feel because it has a prominent note of wine, you know. I can imagine someone who is like a hostess at a winery, you know, wearing this. It is actually my first time experiencing a realistic sort of red wine. You know, that's red wine that has gone through a bit of, you know, fermentation. There's something about it which feels like fermented, you know. It has a very fermented nuance about it, coupled with that, you know, aged red wine. But it doesn't feel like wine in a barrel, you know. It feels like aged wine, but quite fermented. But it doesn't give me that, you know, oak barrel sort of feel. It doesn't give me that. It feels very artsy, very different, and also very powdery. It gives me a very powdery, musky, you know, cozy feel. It is different, and I love this, you know. And for this, I've not utilized it like I'm going out, you know, where I've been wearing this to bed, because I remember when I introduced this, Amanda from Top Notes of A mentioned the fact that she has the original from Boohoo, I think that's the name of the brand, you know, and she uses it for bed. So as soon as she said it, I was like, okay, let me just try it. And honestly, I do love it, you know, for bedtime. Although to me, it's going to be a very interesting one to take to an outdoor, you know, sort of event, you know, something like wine tasting, something like, you know, something of that nature, you know, something like that of that nature is going to really make this fragrance shine the most. And that is Brown Sugar from Fragrance World. And these are 8 fragrances I have put the heaviest dents in the last 3 to 5 weeks, I would say, you know, because they are fairly new. in my collection, you know, and I'm also utilizing others that, you know, I'll just bring them to your attention if there are any dents whatsoever. And I'm not forcing myself to put dents in these bottles just to do this type of videos. It just so happened that I enjoy these fragrances, and sometimes out of curiosity, wanting to know much about some of these fragrances, I guess have to, you know, utilize them to be able to give you a thorough, you know, analysis when I'm doing my reviews. And that is what accounts for some of the dents, as well as being personal loves for me, that I prefer to utilize them, you know, on my daily on daily basis. And that is going to be it for today, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.